Hello everybody, this is Jane Flame from LifeTree TV. How are you doing? Now, we are in a tremendous global crisis caused by an unprecedented pandemic virus disease, paralyzing political, economic, and social systems of each country. It is time to be more cautious and self-disciplined than ever to protect your own health and life. I hope you can get through this crisis safely. As some of you may notice, this pandemic virus disease shows different infection patterns among countries and even regionally within a country. Do you think if this difference comes from different maneuvers taken by countries for the epidemic prevention? Here is a shocking secret behind this phenomenon, which has not been occurring coincidentally. Some of you may not believe, but I will tell you that all of these happenings have been set by the heaven and explain how the heaven operates and controls virus diseases. Captain Udeka's message for today is titled, "Why do the symptoms of the virus disease have national and regional differences?" Let me get started. The symptoms caused by the virus that is now terrorizing people around the world will vary even within a country depending on the region and city. Patterns of the virus disease will also be different for each country and each continent. The basic symptoms of the virus disease may be similar by country, but the infection rate, the death rate, and the proportion of severe cases will vary from country to country. This virus disease will be spread in an unpredictable pattern and differently depending on the country and region. At the present level of human consciousness, this virus disease may come to people as the subject of fear and dread. At the current level of scientific technology on Earth, people would think that unprecedented infection patterns of this disease are attributed to mutations of this virus and its variants, which can disable present anti-epidemic measures. However, as some of you may notice, the present pandemic virus disease is progressing beyond the level of human consciousness and the level of science and technology of humankind. For those whose consciousness has been awakened, for those who hold the promise of the heaven, and for the heavenly people whose consciousness is being awakened, Captain Udeka leaves this message as a record. The general mechanisms of virus diseases are as follows. Firstly, the virus infection is initiated through the following process. The virus is transported by angels into the human heart, which humans cannot notice. It is very difficult for humans to detect angels entering and leaving the human body. Humans cannot recognize what angels do in the human heart, nor can they prevent them from doing it. Viruses that are delivered to the human hearts by angels are forms of intangible mechanical devices, which are not visible life forms. These intangible inert viruses can be vitalized and activated into tangible organic forms of viruses only when the energy activating intangible viruses is injected into them from external resources. Activated viruses have their own energy. When these activated viruses enter a person with intangible viruses through his respiratory mucosa, they can activate the intangible viruses in his body, which is how the phenomenon called the viral infection is initiated. If a person does not have intangible viruses inside his body, he will not get infected because he does not have receptors that can respond to activated viruses transmitted from other infected patients. If the activated viruses from the outside are of the energy of yang, the intangible viruses installed inside the body correspond to the energy of Viral infections can only occur in the human body when these two bipolar energies meet and react with each other. However, the energy itself possessed by externally activated viruses is not enough to cause any measurable symptoms. In the absence of external energy sources, the infection process triggered by the reaction of activated viruses with intangible viruses in the body is maintained under the control of human immunity and then terminates when the viruses consume their own energy and lose their vitality. The intangible mechanical devices of demised viruses are to be collected by angels. On the other hand, if external energy is injected into both external and internal viruses when they interact with each other, they become activated and ready to cause infection symptoms. This is how infectious diseases break out. Secondly, viruses that enter the human body must be continuously supplied with energy from the outside to maintain their vitality. In order to make viruses active enough to defeat human immunity, the energy to keep their vitality must be supplied from external resources. The heaven installs and operates energy membranes and energy fields to continuously supply energy to viruses. The energy membrane that the heaven installs in a target region has energy control centers. Currently, in the epicenters of the novel coronavirus disease or COVID-19, there are energy membranes that the heaven has installed, which are not visible to the human eye. The thickness of such energy membranes determines the epidemic pattern of this new coronavirus disease. The thicker the energy membrane installed by the heaven, the more activated viruses, because the energy to activate viruses is supplied through the energy membrane installed by the heaven. This heavenly energy membrane serves as an energy control center for the regional virus infection. Viruses connected to the heaven through the energy control center are conducting their programs as intended and planned by the heaven. The heaven controls everything about the virus through the energy control center installed in the energy membrane. The heaven operates the energy control center to execute the programs for viral infections while distinguishing between those who will survive and those who will die. Those who are supposed to survive are healed by angels through the energy control centers installed in the energy membrane. Angels are also healing infected patients and protecting people by receiving the energy from this energy membrane. Viruses will not stop working until the heaven dismantles the energy membrane installed in the target regions or epicenters of epidemics. As long as the energy is continuously supplied to the viruses from the energy membrane installed by the heaven, human science and technology will not be able to inactivate viruses. Thirdly, if you are infected with viruses outside the energy membrane installed by the heaven, you will be relieved from symptoms when the infecting viruses use up their own energy. If someone is infected with viruses outside the heavenly energy membrane, the group program which is applied to people in the energy field enveloped by the energy membrane is not in operation. Instead, an individual program is being run for the person outside the energy field. In this case, it is angels that continue to supply energy to the viruses in the body of the infected person who is subject to the individual program for the virus disease. The terrible situations that humankind is experiencing now are the case in which group programs for the virus disease are being operated in the energy fields installed by the heaven. Individual programs for the virus disease, which are run outside the energy field set up by the heaven, will proceed less intensely than the group program. Also, the infection rate or the death rate will be different between these two types of programs. Fourthly, the heaven installs personalized energy fields in each of those who are supposed to survive even within the energy membrane for protecting them from viral attacks. These types of energy fields have been installed in the bodies of the heavenly people individually to protect them by the heaven, and their emotion cores and consciousness cores are being protected. For those who are subject to the upcoming pandemic virus diseases, the heaven has installed another type of personalized energy field in each of them. This type of energy field, customized for each individual, has been designed to match the intrinsic polarity of the virus so that the energy field can enable viruses to stay in the human body. In this way, the heaven is going the way that the heaven has set by itself without any error. Fifthly, the heaven supplies energy to the emotion cores and consciousness cores of people living in a target region through the energy field. This type of energy supplied to human emotion cores and consciousness cores varies depending on the region. For example, the energy supplied to the people in Wuhan is different from the energy supplied to the residents living in Beijing. Each energy field installed in each region by the heaven has different characteristics and is designed to provide the energy optimized for the residents and culture of each region. It is the size of the energy field that determines the intensity and scale of epidemic virus diseases. Now, the energy field stronger than that of Wuhan is under construction in Beijing. So-called epicenters of virus diseases are the regions where energy fields and energy control centers have been installed and operated. As of March 17 in 2020, energy fields were installed in 58 cities around the world, which will become the epicenters of COVID-19. When these energy fields start to work depends on the timeline of each city. The 58 cities where the heaven has installed energy fields will be severely damaged. Outside these 58 cities, individual programs for the virus disease are underway. Those who have ears will hear how the heaven is designing and executing the pandemic virus diseases for the sake of human beings who have lost the heaven from their hearts. Human beings who have lost the heaven and believe only what they can see will hopelessly see people die away as if dead leaves were falling in autumn. Soon after, they will have to admit that the heaven exists and that it is next to them. Until human beings accept that the heaven is with them and restore the lost heaven to their hearts, they will have to lose lots of things. This message, written by Captain Udeka, will just cause an empty echo for human beings who believe only what is visible, who have lost the heaven, or who do not know how the heaven works. However, this message will resonate with those whose consciousness has been awakened or is scheduled to be awakened, or those who have the promise of the heaven. This message may be rejected or criticized by those who do not believe in the invisible world, but notwithstanding, it will resonate with those who have seeds of truth within. Those who have ears will hear this truth with their inner ears, and those who have eyes will have the eye of consciousness opened through this message. I wish all the best for humankind. March 17 in 2020. Udeka wrote. His message was translated by Twin Flame. Thank you so much for listening.